Hello students, the other day we have discussed about degrees of freedom, law of equipartition of energy, and also we have discussed about specific heat capacity of monoatomic gases, diatomic gases. There are two cases in diatomic gases, one is rigid rotor, another one is not rigid object, and also we discussed about specific heat capacity for uh, polyatomic gases also. We have seen ratio of specific heat capacities also, gamma values for monoatomic, for diatomic, for triatomic and polyatomic gases. Today we are going to discuss about specific heat capacity of solids. See, here I am taking a solid object like this. I am taking a solid like this. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm taking a solid like this, and consider this solid consists of a large number of atoms. Large number of atoms. And these atoms are tightly fixed at their respective locations. That means the atoms will not move as like in the case of gases. So there will be no translation degree of freedom in the case of solids, because the atoms will not move randomly as in the case of gas molecules. So these there will be no translational degrees of freedom in the case of solids, as they are tightly held, and also there will be no rotational degrees of freedom in the case of solids, because the molecules or atoms will not be rotated in this case. And if this is nothing but the bond between the two atoms of the solid. So because of this bond, the molecules may be vibrate about their main positions. Okay, so here we consider only vibrational term, vibrational energy term, vibrational energy term. And we know for vibrational energy, the energy is nothing but, that is internal energy due to vibrational motion, is nothing but half m into dy by dt whole square or dx by dt whole square. If the particles are vibrating along x-axis, we take half m into dx by dt whole square. Dx by dt or dy by dt is nothing but velocity of the particle in harmonic motion. So half mv square is nothing but kinetic energy, we know. And potential energy term in this case is nothing but half ky square, where k is spring constant or stiffness constant and y is nothing but displacement. So how many quadratic terms are there? Here it is one quadratic term, another quadratic term. Two quadratic terms are there. We know as per law of equipartition of principle, as per law of equipartition of energy, each quadratic term contributes an average energy of half kBT. So here the total energy, the total internal energy is nothing but this term contributes half kBT, and this term also contribute half kBT. So for one molecule, the internal energy is given by kBT. For Avogadro number of molecules, for Na molecules, we know Avogadro number of molecules is nothing but which is equivalent to 1 mole, because 1 mole consists of Avogadro number of molecules. So for Na molecules or for 1 mole, the internal energy is given by Avogadro number into kBT. Okay, so here Na into Kb is nothing but we know it is universal gas constant R. Universal gas constant R. Okay, so U is equal to R into T. This is for one mode of vibrational case. For three dimensions, this is one dimensional vibrational mode. For three dimensions, the internal energy is given by 3RT. Okay, now See here, in the case of solids, the volume expansion is almost negligible. That is nothing but delta V is equal to 0 in case of solids. So as delta V is equal to 0, work done is equal to 0, because we know work done is equal to P delta V, which is equal to 0, right? And we know from first law of thermodynamics, from first law of thermodynamics, we know delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. But in the case of solids, the volume expansion is very small, so we can neglect the expansion in volume. That means change in volume is equal to 0, as expansion is very less in the case of solids. So delta W is equal to 0. So the first law of thermodynamics will become delta Q is equal to simply delta U. Okay, so now specific heat capacity is nothing but simply delta Q by delta T for 1 mole of gas or for 1 mole of solid, that is equal to delta U by delta T. We can also write delta U by delta T for infinitesimally small change. We can write it as du by dt. So therefore, C is equal to specific heat capacity can be written as du by dt. That is d by dt of U. Internal energy for the gas is for solid is nothing but how much we got. For 1 mole we got it as 3 RT. So specific heat capacity for solids C is equal to 3 R is common. We can take it as common as they are constants. So d by dt of T is nothing but 1. d by dt of T is nothing but 1. Therefore, specific heat capacity of solids is equal to simply 3 into R. 3R. Okay, so this is an expression for specific heat capacity of solids. Now we are going to discuss about the specific heat capacity of water. Now specific heat capacity of water. Specific heat capacity of water. See here, we treat water like solids. We treat water like solid because as the molecules are closely spaced together, there will be no translational degrees of freedom, as well as there will be no rotational degrees of freedom. The possible thing is only vibrational degrees of freedom will be available in the case of solids as well as in the case of water also. Okay, so we treat water like solids for one vibrational mode. For one vibrational mode and for one molecule or for one atom, vibrational mode of energy is nothing but what? How much it is? Equal to half kBT plus half kBT is nothing but kBT. Okay, so for 3 dimensions, the internal energy is given by 3 kBT. We have discussed already in the case of specific heat capacity of solids. I am proving same again. So U is equal to 3 kBT. So this is for one atom. But in the case of water, how many hydrogen atoms are there? 2 hydrogen atoms are there, and one oxygen atom is there. Oxygen atom is there. So how many total atoms are there here in the case of aqueous molecule? 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. Total 3 atoms are there in water molecule. For 3 atoms of H2O, the internal energy is given by 3 into 3 kBT. That is nothing but U is equal to 9 kBT. This is for one molecule. Of aqueous. One aqueous molecule. For 1 mole of aqueous molecules, for 1 mole. 1 mole is nothing but which consists of Avogadro number of molecules, that is 9 NaKBT. Na into Kb is nothing but we know universal gas constant, that is U is equal to 9 RT. Now C is equal to du by dt, that is specific heat capacity of water is given by d by dt of U is nothing but 9 RT. And so specific heat capacity of water is equal to 9 is constant, so we can take it out common. R is also constant, we also can take it as common. And d by dt of T is nothing but 1. So specific heat capacity of water is also given as 9R. C is equal to simply 9R. This is for water. Okay. Right. Now we are going to discuss about mean free path. Mean free path. Mean free path. Okay. So now I'm going to discuss about mean free path. We have already defined mean free path is nothing but the average distance traveled by the molecule before colliding next molecule. That is nothing but average distance traveled by the molecule in successive collision is called as mean free path. I am defining again average distance travel by atom in successive collisions or in collision with atom. Average distance traveled by the molecule before colliding with next neighboring atom is called as the mean free path. So in successive collision we can also define like this: average distance traveled by atom in successive collision is called mean free path. Okay, so here we know gas molecules, the speed of gas molecules in the order of speed of sound. We know the speed of sound is approximately 330 to 350 meter per second. So the sound travels a distance of 300 meters in 1 second. So speed of gas molecule also will be comparable to speed of sound. That means, but here what happens when gas leakages from the gas cylinder, when it diffuses, we can smell it can spread out in all corners of the room very slowly. Why? Because when, see here I am taking like this. See, let us consider large number of gas molecules are there. When you are diffuses out from the gas cylinder, they have the speed of approximately equal to how much? 330 to 350 meter per second. But the gas will spread out in all corners of the room very slowly. Why? Because when this gas molecule is trying to move in a straight line direction, there are another large number of gas molecules are there. So it may go and collide with the neighboring molecule. And after that, it may go and collide with the next neighboring molecule. It may go and collide with the next neighboring molecule like this. Because of the collision process, the diffusion will be slow, and so that the gas molecule will be the gas inside the cylinder will be diffused to all corners of the room slowly because of the collisions. Okay. So here I am going to obtain an expression for mean free path. Wait a minute, mean free atom. I have written wrongly. mean free path. This is nothing but mean free path of molecules, right? I'm going to obtain an expression for mean free path. So see here, for that I am considering molecules as spheres like this. Let the size of the molecule is d. The size of the molecule is d. Okay, all the molecules which are in the path of center to the center distance. See, consider there is another molecule like this. Another molecule like this is also there. Okay, so and here another molecule is also there. This molecule, whenever this molecule is going like this, okay, it may have a probability to collide with this molecule, as well as it may go and collide with this molecule, but it will not collide with this one, because that means the molecules which are in the range of center to center distance, if the center to center distance is d, then only those molecules may suffer collision with the molecule which is moving. So here also the center to center distance between this molecule and this is also d. So these molecules may suffer collision with the moving molecule. Okay, treat these molecules are at rest initially. Right, these molecules, this moving molecule will not be collided with this one, because this molecule is not within the range of size of the atom. Okay, so see here, consider if molecule is moving with a velocity of average velocity of v, let it travels a it covers a distance of d in delta t time interval, so here distance traveled d is equal to distance traveled by the molecule, d is equal to, simply distance is nothing but velocity into time interval, velocity into time. So whenever it is going in this path, whenever it is moving, how many molecules are colliding with this atom? We are going to find out the number of atoms that are going to collide with this molecule. So suppose it sweeps out an area of A, therefore the volume that an atom sweeps out is equal to, volume is equal to area into distance traveled. Distance traveled is nothing but v dt. So this is the volume. So if I consider large number of molecules are there like this here, so it covers a volume of how much? The volume is equal to, it covers a volume, that volume is equal to A into average velocity into time interval. This is nothing but volume expression. So now I am going to find out the number of molecules here. Let n is the number density, number of molecules per unit volume. That is, n is equal to number of molecules per unit volume. Therefore, number of molecules is equal to n into v. That means, so n is nothing but here n into v is nothing but volume is how much? A into average velocity into dt or delta t. Therefore, now the number of molecules suffers suffer n. I am writing a is equal to pi d square into velocity into dt. Suffer these many number of collisions in time dt. So this is nothing but number of collisions per unit time. So this is nothing but number of collisions per unit time. Number of collisions which suffer collisions with the moving molecule. Number of collisions per unit time. Number of collisions per unit time is nothing but what? Collision frequency. We also call it as collision frequency. So now the time between two successive collisions. Now this is the frequency. The time between, I am going to find out the time between two successive collisions. So time is nothing but reciprocal of frequency is nothing but time. So that is reciprocal of frequency is nothing but 1 by, this is nothing but collision frequency. Reciprocal of collision frequency is nothing but time between the two successive collisions. So 1 by n pi d square average velocity into dt. Okay. Sorry. Here, this is nothing but, these are nothing but, wait a minute, number of molecules, those suffer collision in time delta t. So here I am writing, once again, this is nothing but number of collisions only. So here I am writing number of collisions per unit time. This is nothing but number of collisions per unit time. Number of collisions per unit time is nothing but collision frequency. So collision frequency. Here collision frequency n by dt is equal to n pi d square into v. So this is the expression for, right, this is nothing but number of collisions per unit time. So that is nothing but collision frequency. So now time between two successive collisions is nothing but reciprocal of frequency. Reciprocal of frequency is nothing but 1 by n pi d square v. This is the time. Now the distance travel, average distance travel or mean distance travel before next collision, before the collision is nothing but mean free path. So distance is nothing but, we know, average velocity into time. So here velocity into time. So average velocity into, here time is nothing but how much? 1 by n pi d square into average velocity. So here v and v get cancels. We know mean free path d is equal to, mean free path d is equal to simply 1 by n pi d square. But here we consider that only this molecule is moving, and all these molecules are at rest. And so, but actually whenever in the case of gas, all the molecules will move randomly inside the volume of the vessel. So when we consider motion of these molecules also, the final expression for mean free path will become 1 by root 2 n pi d square. How we add root 2? Because we treated only one molecule is moving, rest of the molecules are at rest. But actually in the case of gases, all the molecules move within the volume of the vessel. So when we consider the motion of all the molecules, we add root 2 in the denominator. So this is the final expression for mean free path. of the gas molecules. You will see that derivation of how we get root 2 in denominator in next higher classes, that is the beyond the scope of the book. Have a nice day, students. Thank you. Bye bye.